looking to see if we've got anyone else who's gotten started. Oh, we've got some. Ermark is now scrimming versus Casey Muller, who I need to get added, so we will go add him as well. Casey M-E-L-L. This is why the tournament asks you to add me. Because otherwise, I have to track you down. Alright, we do have Poofed. So he did accept it, and that was Mr. Death's, yes, just reporting his score from the previous round. I'm waiting for these dragons. Alright, there we go.
Welcome, friend.
They give greetings to one another, so it's starting with the Crowbots. Dragonborn opening Dagoth having Ring and Tiny Dragon. Not a terrible opening. Merchant, easy keep, keeps the Dwarven armaments, gives away the Murkwater Guide. Dragonborn cycling the Rapid Shot. Alright, Poof trying to go ahead and build up a board. We're going to see Tiny Dragon come down and maybe even a ringed out Rapid Shot to get the full clear.
Nicely done.
Ghostly Lookout, if he can force his opponent to pivot Shadow, will be quite nice. He's gonna need a dragon to trigger it, but there's Tiny Dragon. Can I replay? Let me see who Liz is versus. Alright, I will sort that out over in Battlefy. Okay, so he's gonna Blades and then ring out Tiny Dragon. So gets him a card, gets him a clear, sets up the ward, preventing the easy trade.
Training is over. It's time to act.
Come, do my bidding.
Alright, so Imperfect versus Giant. Keeps the Giant knowing his opponent's never going to be able to trigger Imperfect. Let's see what we're going to get as a response from Dragonborn. We've got the Harpy, the Protector, maybe a Clockwork coming down over here for a big bodyguard. It's weak to Fervor, but we also don't have... Well, it's also weak to Edict. Alright, so he is going to go ahead and just get that developed. Reward up. Probably leave the Tiny Dragon alive. They're just going to go ahead and maw our opponent's Khajiit phase. So it is kitties. It is a literal Khajiit playing with dragons. And it's the tiny kind. The kind that you guys literally go around here and try to eat. Next turn, we're going to have access to 7 Magicka. So that's a really good pull. As is that. Alright, so Tiny Dragon's gonna clear the spider. Then over here, you clear the 4-3. You're not clearing anything. Then could opt for a hand of Dagoth Harpy. Harpy would lock down the 3-2. And you're theoretically only looking at a very limited amount of damage. You may lose your Ghostly Lookout here, but I think that's okay. There's some really big bodies coming. Maybe Old Salty set up for a Fervor next turn. You can combo Fervor with Yagrum.
Read my lips. Mouth paws.
Ooh. Probably give your opponent the Stadium or Studium. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9. So can force him to overdraw. That overdraw is going to be a lightning bolt. Alright, so you don't need the further card draw. So you go ahead and you throw your 3-1 into here. You grab your health gain there, then trade. Then you can use Sheer Point to eat the 4-2, thus leaving just the 5 damage on board. You're at 15 health. You've got 2 magical left over, so you drop a Protector of the Innocent in field. Dragonborn disagrees, does want that card draw. And apparently I miscounted the Magicka, because he only had 7, not 8. Don't know why I thought he had 8. We're not going to ponder too long and hard about that. So he debates the play here. I really like the Yagram play. Into Fervor. Yagram, oh, you don't have a 0 cost. Maybe not Yagram then.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us. Talking mud crab.
So he's going to go with Steam Constructor. Ooh. Savage Ogre is a really good pull. Gives him the ability if a creature's left on board to burst for 5. And the card is overdrawn. Dragonborn continuing to overdraw. I imagine he's going to use Skyborn Dragon to clear maybe one of the 2-drops. He goes for card draw himself. Picks up Clockwork. That's not bad. You do want to drain first, just in case Prophecy, but didn't hit one. Edict being the top deck, being a, well, clear answer to this. Then we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can we play both? No, because that costs 10. Edict double trade into his drain, and then play an Old Salty's Assault. Hit him for 5, so you drop him to 12. It's only 3 because you've already pulled one of your crabs, but that's still probably going to be enough. Because he doesn't have a Tiny Dragon, nor does he have the Magicka to combo Tiny with Felicity. He has the trade here, but he's got to answer 2 or 3 creatures in this lane because of the armaments or the Savage Ogre. And I don't see a way of doing that. There's no, well... He can answer 2. Because this clears you, you guard up, trade there, hits for 3, burst for lethal. Sadly, or happily in the kitty's case, the kitty is going to win versus the lizards. Dragonborn really could have been... This could have gone the other way had instead of the draw lookout, he had found the drain lookout. Three distinct ways of killing his opponent. Uses the Savage Ogre. And a Mudcrab Merchant's already going through his pockets. It's like an adventure, when you're in a D&D adventure and you've knocked someone down and you're just like, alright, what have they got in their pockets? Yeah, I think I could sell that. What do you think, kitties? We're gonna see a reboot, Kitties vs. Dragons, yet again. Because Dragonborn has his Halalu Dragons, which are gonna be up next. It's 2 minutes, it's 2 hours until feeding time. So the kitties are going into hibernation mode to save up as much energy as possible to ensure that when they are fed, they can properly beg and move their mouth muscles to ingest the food. Otherwise, they run the risk of starving through overexertion.
Bright moons light your path.
Alright, they give the customary greetings back and forth. Fighters Guild, not bad. Penitus, not really useful, but there are some guards.
If I fall,
Do you oppose Golden Initiate to make him trade?
Speak, citizen.
I think I would have opposed. Well, you're risking a, whatchamacallit, Dynamo if you oppose. I can see why he didn't. And honestly, is actually a good answer to a lane of Gearwork Spiders. Against a single Gearwork Spider, probably a Penitus Rapid Shot onto Sphere.
For the Emperor.
Sets up the double trade. Preserves the life of your initiate. Edicts away the drain. I think Dragonborn's going to be happy to see one of those edicts gone, especially with Blood Dragon Field being one of the plays here. Then on cue, the crabs are coming.
Crab merchant. Read my lips.
Keeps the free daggers. Alright, clears the 3-3. Sheer Point eats the 3-2. Crab cakes for breakfast. But this is the problem that Dragon's decks can suffer from. There's not really a solid answer to an extremely wide board until you get late game. And with no drain on board that he can get from Anasi, kind of just living through a ticking time bomb. No defensive cards in play. Crusader's Assault, yes. I guess. He was kind of hoping his opponent was going to put down a guard so that he could throw down Anasi, and then just have a 5/5 guard for him to multi-trade into. Basic trades involve clearing this. That leaves 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage on board. Picks up the Lookout and Reflective. I mean, Lookout's a 3/3, so you just throw that into the Shadow Lane. So he's deliberately not hitting the big ones, which is a little odd. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, it's exact lethal versus the trade lethal he did here. That would have been useful last turn. Play it down, snipe a crab. Have a 3 bodyguard. Dragonborn's deck is taunting him. And that's going to be game. Oh wait, I miscounted. No, I didn't. Well, he's gonna have to hit an ankle snapper. So I did miscount. But there's still one ankle snapper in deck, so we're gonna see death via crab here real soon. There's a prophecy guard that would have been helpful. Trade. Dushnik snipe. Anasi gets you nothing. Nothing's wounded. Yep, it's good game. Dragonborn doing the math, though, seeing if there's any way he could find a way out of this. Pulling back the crab versus the Gearwork Spider was intelligent, as that played around Anasi. Because otherwise we'd be seeing an Anasi come down in this lane, stealing the guard. And then Dushnik would come here, snipe trade. He'd be forced to double trade there. And then this lane would be locked down. Oh, and he couldn't play Anasi. Wow. Today is a special day. Alright, so he's gonna do Death by Crab. The honorable way of killing your opponent. Dragonborn conceding out. Urst rates this 1 foot and a tail, in addition to Farkas's 1 foot. So we have a combined rating of 3 appendages. Ernst, you're not even that big. You fit. Oy. My cats are getting massive. Alright, so let me go refresh the bracket and see where we stand. So Seth Dove went 2-0 over Mr. Death. Devil 2-0 over NRO. So we're looking at Vlad, who ended up winning between Vlad, Dollar, Harvester, and Fellerin last game. Looking to see which side. Well, we've not seen Kuzia play. Let's go ahead and see how they're going. Dollar not in match at the moment. Oh, did they just get in match? They just got in match. Alright, so we'll watch this one from the beginning. Alright, so Dollar's on Archer. Kuzia's on Goblins. Looks like it's a... Is it a Goblin Archer?
Waking and sleeping.
Of course I'm on your side.
Shift Pawnbroker.
Have business with House Love.
Picks up a Drez Spy.
Nothing will trace back to us.
Do we want a Mournhold Trader? Next turn we've got Scourge, maybe a Dreamer. Alright, says yes.
Surprise!
Kuzia's deciding he needs to be in the control seat for this deck. Interesting decision.
I will spill your blood.
What do we got in hand? Shaman, Scourge, War Chief.
Didn't see this coming, eh?
Gambles on no answer, and there is indeed no answer. So we're gonna see a double 2-drop, and then a trade. Probably won't go face.
I will spill your blood.
Another.
Oh, and I saw a score just get reported in. 2-0-1 against Vlad. It's a buff little gobbo. It was good to get rid of the curse machine. Double 7s in hand is not that great, though. It's gonna hope to pick up a mute off of Pawnbroker.
Have business with House Love.
Picks up a Dwarven Spider. So you hold that in hand. So Sai Sahan played over here. That's wounded, so can't affect him. Does have the 3-feather curse effect for a clear, though. Should he wish to use it. We happen to know that that's the correct play because we're looking at a rage. Alright, 10, 11. So you've got to... Yeah, Belligerent Giant the Goblin. Back down to being a humble 2-2 again. Shift picks up a Scourge. Dollar looking for some way to answer the board and or get Drain. 9 Magicka. No one's wounded. You could Razum down the Cliff Racer, or you could get... Feels weird, but like a Brynjolf Punisher play. 4, 5, 6, 7. You're really hoping for not 4 burst damage, but we know it doesn't matter because he's got the way of removing Brynjolf. But I think it sets up what is your best hope for lethal by attempting to set up a Rage for next turn. So yeah, Punisher, Field, Brynjolf, Shadow. That sets up a Rage. Opted to play Sheer Point, try to set up some curse value for curses that are not in hand at the moment, sadly. Pushes to within Tazcad range. So let's see, you would have had 3, so 4, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26. You would have had exact lethal had you gone Ashlander, Punisher, Brynjolf, and he uses that combo to remove Brynjolf. There's the Tazcad pull. So it's definitely was a change of plans, and it might not have worked out as ideally. But I think that was the only out Dollar had. Was to hopefully bait removal and force his opponent to trade into Punisher. / play into a Rage. Farkas is hiding his eyes. The beatdown was too much for our kitty friend. He's now attempting to retreat into darkness and despair. Alright, so that's going to leave our scores. We are waiting on Fellerin Endel and Dollar Kuzia. Though Dollar Kuzia may be completed now. Let's check up on Fellerin. In-game as we speak. Alright, so this time we're seeing a Marauder Chieftain deck. Alright, start setting up for what I'm going to assume is a Fervor. Alright, Fellerin has messaged me saying they are currently 1-1. So this match will decide it. Whether or not Endel is able to close, or to stabilize, or Fellerin is able to close and acquire lethal. Whoops, that went the wrong way. There we go. Close up on the Urist feet. It is the best foot in all of kittydom. So we're giving it its own dedicated cat cam experience. If you read the lines on the toe beans correctly, Urist already knows who's going to win this match. And it's the person playing the kitty cat background. And it's just how that works. So opts for the curse to go ahead and remove the Spooter. Or, sorry, wreck the Automaton. Nope, remove the Spooter. Trying as hard as he can to keep Fellerin as narrow on the board as possible.
I am the shield of my country.
So he's going to break a rune by going that direction, so one more damage than maybe he needed to hit. Goes ahead and negates the Marauder Chieftain. Throws down double guards. So if you play Fervor, that is enough to clear the drain. For what it's worth. And you could throw down an Ankle Snapper Field to ping face. So other options. Well, there's no other option. You can't leave the drain on board, right? So an old Salty's Assault with Merkle. I mean, you're only going to lose 2 health. But it also clears both guards. Although he might choose to keep it alive. I apparently am wrong. It's a terrible, terrible choice. Goes for the Soul Split. Then just goes ahead and upgrades his card there into a 3-2. I mean, there's not a lot in hand that's useful for Endel. The 2 finish offs was not a great pickup.
The Hist provides.
place for a midnight stroll.
This looks like it's begging to have a Fervor played. So you can grab the trade there, grab the trade here. Problem is that negates the Chieftain value at a later date, which is probably why he's holding on to Fervor as he is. If he wants to leave this alive, he could Marauder Chieftain... Nope, okay. And I was going to say then shackle this. Brahmin will at least shut everything down for one turn. Well, shut a lane down for one turn. But it's not going to remove any of the buffs. It's a very, very powerful looking position for Fellerin. Choosing damage versus Sphere. Probably going back and double checking whether his opponent's running Ice Storm. Whether he plays around or plays into. You want to keep the guard alive in the shadow lane, so I imagine you're trading Sheer Point. Alright, Mudcrab Merchant into an Unshackle all your creatures. Easy pull. Drop Marauder Chieftain first so that you get the value. And then just buff up Krabby McCrabsmith over here.
I am the shield of my clan.
Talking Mudcrab Merchant. Read my lips. The mouthpaw.
I mean, it's a 2-2 with Ward. And you can play it alongside your Sphere. Shackle Red Brahmin. Playing Elytra's 4 Magicka really do nothing and your opponent's hand is already full. I guess he's debating whether he wants the card draw off of this. Should he trade it into a Fighters Guild recruit? He opts to go ahead and grab that card draw. So we're going to see Elytra come Shadow, select Fighters Guild. Wrong again. If you were going to play Dwarven Sphere, why didn't you keep the 1-drop? Now I'm confused. 2 extra power you could play with Ward versus an Elytra. I imagine what we're seeing are some big brain plays. I.e. plays that he knows the deck and knows what he's kind of playing around or saying, hey, if he has a way to control this, I'm going to need a way to draw some cards to get back into the game. That said, I do believe it's over here. Brilliant Experiment can be played to Brilliant Experiment on Red Brahmin, but can't play him then. Shadowfen can unshackle him, only clears up 4, still leaves 9 damage. Necro...
You must be cleansed.
Can no longer pull anything because you just played... Yeah, no, it's over. Good game. So that's going to give Fellerin that 2-1. And that's going to wrap up round 2. We are ahead of schedule, believe it or not. Let me double check that I'm putting in the correct score. They were 1-1. Alright. So I just updated them 2-1. Fellerin's favor. Let's pull up our bracket. So we're going to go ahead, generate into a round 3. Wait, let's double check round 2 was done since it's giving me an error message. Everybody's done. Round 3 is generated. And our standings. Sethdove, Fellerin, Poofed, and TMO are currently in the lead. So we've seen both of these two play. We've not watched a full match from TMO. So let's take a look at who his opponent is. He is versus... That's round 3. He is versus... Fellerin. So we're going to get a rewatch on Fellerin's list, but let's go ahead and while they're doing the bans, see what we've got. So Fellerin, in this case, man after my own heart, playing 2 attribute decks, rejecting the idea that 3 attributes are required for success. TMO bringing 2 3 attributes and then Spell Sword. So let's look at Fellerin's lists first, and then we'll pull up the 3 lists for TMO. Alright, so I've been on my cat foot for long enough. We saw the Crusader list. Run single copy of Dwarven Armaments, Triple Hull, Fervor, Assault's Assault, Marauder Chieftain. Overall, we've seen this deck. It's multiple variants. It's a solid list. Quite enjoy it. We have a Goblin deck running Umaril as a way to try to play around it getting removed. Like, oh, you removed my creature? It's back. Oh, he also plays a little bit more of the buffy guys. So, Bleak Close Troll, Ald Valathi. So, not your traditional Goblin Scout. Has a little bit of some big boy tech-ins. And the third one, it's the same sort of package, but in Spellsword. Runs a single copy of Mercenary Captain here. We've not seen that in the other ones. And then a single copy of Odinaran to pull that back. Okay. Single copy of Haunting Spirit. Still, I like it. Alright, so those are the three that we have from Felleran's side. On the other side, in the other corner, we have a mid-range Dagoth. Not running Rage, but still running Giants. We have Dwemer Crabs, with 2x Wilds Incarnate as a counter against control decks. Undead Clan Sorcerer, to try to be like, hey, if I've got to multi-trade my crabs into something, might as well get a Blood Magic spell out of it. Galen for some card draw, or shuffling card draw back in. Broom of Health Gain. Only running 2 copies of Old Salty's Assault. And then the last one is a Battle Sork list. So mid-range Sorcerer, fair bit of guard, running Undead Clan again. Big boys, 2 Headless Zombies, Garnag to counter control. He's got some, so he has some anti-control tech in here. So with Felleran, I'm not super worried about the control tech. This does have tons of guards and silences, though. None of them run Ice Storm, or any other AoE. So we probably ban the Dagoth, and say, I think my Crab Dwemer is better than his Crab Dwemer. Because he's teched for late game control defense, and I'm teched for going face. This is the other one that maybe you ban, but without AoE, you just say, I can power through this. Single target removal, I can power through that. I'm going to go wide, he's not running Rage. Wilds Incarnate, we're going to make sure that's never even a problem. So I expect the ban to be the Dagoth. On the other side, you're really good at single target control. All of your decks are. So you want to have the most single target deck you can have. And ban things that go wide. You still probably fight his crabs because you think your crabs are better. So you probably ban the Scout. So the Scout Dagoth are my ban predictions. See if we've got the bans in. Not quite yet. So we'll give it a little bit of time. And I'm going to use this opportunity to ingest some more liquid water. It is important for keeping me alive and speaking. We've already got Dragonborn and some of the others getting in. Given that Felleran got out of the last match, it's likely that he's taking an opportunity just to calm things down, get some relaxation in. Let's see if Seth Dove and Poofed have gotten into game yet. They have. So there are other, what is this? Finals, semifinals, quarterfinalists? So we're going to open here, even though we didn't look at these decks.
The fighter's will stands ever ready.
So, has the ring, on curve opening, up against a Guildsworn Apprentice. And this looks to be maybe a Prophecy aggro Guildsworn. Triple Protector of the Innocence drawn. Then just gonna go ahead and open up Imbued Minotaur and say, alright, let's race. Poofed has Crushing Blow teched in specifically for this, but may opt to go for the double crab play, using the crab to trade and then just getting card draw.
May the fates smile.
First Rune Prophecy, it's a bolt. We're gonna get a cooked crab. We're looking at a double Protector play next turn. Honestly, I'd play both Protectors into Shadow Lane, because you really want to keep that Minotaur alive. But then again, you're not dealing with any form of charge. Alright, he agrees though. Crushing Blow may kill the Minotaur, but we're going to be able to keep our creatures alive and going face, and our opponent's draw engine for us will keep functioning. Maybe ring out an Old Salties into this lane. Well, you're going to break a rune then. You're risking a Prophecy. If you Crushing Blow, you can then Steam Constructor. Deal with a Prophecy next turn. So he's going to go with the double 2-drop play, I'd imagine. Was hoping to pick up a Prophecy there. I don't like the Covenant plate play onto this because it just gives you 1 extra health, and so he's still going to get the trade. Whereas if you play the other Protector, he's going to have 1 power just kind of flutzing around here, not doing anything.
We'll see how they like someone who's fighting.
Barring a Fervor pool or a Halls pool. He did get the Halls, which allows him to get the buff here. Put down a guard in front of the Elite. So Morkel puts the buff over on the Elite.
Close ranks.
And sets up a trade with the Crab. Really awkward hand there. I think I agree, the Seducer's probably the play. That way you can put Dawnbreaker, Covenant Plate on it. I think I disagree that it goes field, because then you're playing into him finding any form of buff and just trading. Opts for the Bolt clear, so we're going to see Salties come down here. Just grab the Ogrim. 4 power, 7/4. Not bad. You'll get that out on a later turn. And Vindicator, not really useful. Seven Magicka. Thing is that Dwarven Sphere is going to just shackle it. So I believe we're going to be giving this victory to Poofed. He is only 2 off of lethal. Vindicator can't go face, right? Yeah.
This might be handy.
There's yet another Dwarven Sphere. Alright, so what are the prophecies? Nothing. Nothing. Ow. Shackle, shackle.
This was a worthy contest.
It has been an engaging hunt.
And that's going to be good game. Would have been able to drain for 11. That would have been a fine, fine world. Probably not enough, but a fine, fine world. Alright, let's see if we've got Fellerin in game now. Fellerin we're looking after? Yes, Fellerin TMO. Alright. So let me update you on what their bans were. Scout and Daggerfall were the bans. So we called one of them. Graveyards. 1 Edict's already come down to kill a Marauder Chieftain. 1 drops in deck, Enraged Mudcrab. Plan this turn. So we're behind on health, but we're ahead on cards. Capitalize with a Old Salty's Assault into the Shadow Lane so we can get our value trades. Other option is Mechanical Ally Orc Clan Captain, but then you're not really setting up a good play for turn 6.
I am the shield of my command.
Okay, so he's looking at playing Halls next turn. For 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, then plus 3, 23, because he gets the 3 off of the 0 cost, so he's setting up almost exact lethal. He's going to be 1 off, though, because with this pulling back the Crab, he heals for 2 up to 24. Doesn't have the Magicka to throw down the Gearworks Spider. Fellerin's going to start doing the math on Halls again, and we'll redo it. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They double over. So plus 6 gets us to 20. Then you play the 0 cost, which gets 3 buffed, and you're at 23. Chances your opponent can kill you next turn. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1 off of lethal. That's terrifying knowing that the deck runs Fervor and various other buffs. I'll admit, Fellerin went for a very high level of thought line. So I imagine we're going to see him try to go for a more defensive play here. And then grab trades rather than pushing for lethal. Alright, there's the trade. There is the fervor that would have been lethal. What's fervor do for us here? Gives us the trade for 12, 2 off. We could shackle this, but then we're dead here. Guards, none. So get health and set up for lethal next turn. So gain... How much health can we gain? We want to play as many creatures as possible. So that's 3. Because you do need to play this to shackle. There's no way around that. Picking up a 1-drop you can play is what you need to do. Picks up Wilds, and this is where we thought TMO was going to suffer. He is tacked for dealing with control-based decks. And he currently does not have the control side. Even with the health gain, we're going to see an Orc Clan Divine Fervor giving the rune skip, and that's going to be game.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
Well closed by Fellerin. There was a lot of thought that went into that, and I think he played it exceptionally well. I also don't think there was any misplays by his opponent. Had he found a 1-cost minion and been able to play it, would have been fine. We will wait, and then we will hop back in for their next match.